For decades, we've all heard the same promise. Go to university, get your degree, land a good job, climb the ladder. That was the deal. You put in the work, maybe take on some debt, and you get your ticket to the middle class. Except that ticket, it's not really working anymore. Right now, something weird is happening in the job market. The unemployment rate for recent college graduates in Q2 2025 averaged 5.3%, while underemployment sits at over 41%. And here's what's really wild. In September 2025, 9.7% of bachelor's degree holders aged 20 to 24 were unemployed, up from 6.8% just a year earlier. We're seeing graduates struggle to find work even as the overall economy keeps expanding. That's not supposed to happen. So what's going on? Is your degree actually worthless now? Should you panic? First, let's talk about the reality of competition. The average employer now receives hundreds of applications per graduate job, a 59% increase from the previous year, the highest in over 3 decades. And it gets worse. Part of why there are so many applications is because AI has made it ridiculously easy to spam out resumes. You can generate a custom cover letter in seconds, tweak your resume for different jobs, and fire off applications like you're playing a video game. Employers are drowning in applications they can't sort through, so they're just retreating. They're hiring through personal networks, through referrals, through connections. If you don't know someone, good luck getting noticed in that pile of 140 identical looking applications. But here's the thing, AI isn't just changing how you apply for jobs, it's changing whether those jobs exist at all. Entry-level hiring in AI-exposed jobs has dropped 13% since large language models started proliferating, with software development, customer service, and clerical work being the most vulnerable. Companies are realizing they can automate a lot of the grunt work that junior employees used to do. The document review that law firms made trainees do, there's an AI for that. The Excel models junior bankers built, AI can do it faster. The basic code that entry-level developers wrote, yeah, AI's got that covered too. Those boring, repetitive tasks juniors used to hate, they were actually your training ground. You learned the trade by doing the tedious stuff for years. But now AI does that work, so companies want you to come in and just verify what the AI produced. Problem is, you can't verify something if you never learned how to do it yourself. So we're stuck in this weird situation where employers want experienced people because they can't afford to train juniors anymore, but juniors can't get experience because no one will hire them. Even healthcare and nursing, which are supposed to be the safe havens because of our aging population, aren't immune to pressure. Sure, jobs exist, but the competition is still fierce, and the traditional pathway of get degree, get job isn't as straightforward as it once was. The reality is that we're watching a fundamental restructuring of how companies think about hiring. Entry-level job postings have plummeted across major sectors between 2018 and 2024, even as total postings in these sectors stayed flat or increased. Companies aren't just hiring fewer people overall, they're specifically not hiring at the entry level. They want senior people with experience, but they won't create the positions that allow juniors to get that experience. It's a closed loop. And this isn't temporary. By 2034, there could be 7 to 11 million more college graduates competing for fewer degree-relevant roles. The supply of graduates keeps going up, while the demand for entry-level workers is going down. That's not a recipe for things getting better on their own. What we're seeing is the breakdown of a promise that held true for decades. The idea that if you invested in education, worked hard, and played by the rules, you'd get a stable career with upward mobility. That social contract is fracturing in real time, and honestly, nobody really knows what replaces it. The traditional career ladder, where you start at the bottom rung and work your way up over decades, is fundamentally changing shape. Companies are building what's being called a diamond structure now. They're heavy with mid-career specialists, but lean at the entry level, which sounds fancy until you realize it just means there's a bunch of stressed middle managers with no one below them to train or mentor. The bottom rung of the ladder hasn't just been removed, it's been sold for scrap. And there are other forces making this worse. Macroeconomic uncertainty around tariffs and trade policy means companies have no visibility into what their costs or demand will look like, so they're freezing hiring altogether. We're seeing what's been termed job hugging, where people with jobs cling to them, which reduces the turnover that normally opens up entry-level positions. The quit rate is falling, and the ladder is getting blocked from the top down. Meanwhile, minimum wage increases, which are supposed to help workers, might be inadvertently making it harder for graduates to get hired. When the cost of an inexperienced worker gets close to the cost of someone with experience, employers rationally choose the proven candidate every time. The lower starting salary that used to offset the cost of training someone, that's disappearing. So graduates are caught in this squeeze. They're competing with AI for jobs that might not even exist anymore. They're priced out of entry-level positions by wage floors. They're facing the highest living costs in a generation, with inflation, skyrocketing housing prices in cities where jobs exist, and many are carrying significant student debt. And what are people doing in response? They're going back to school. Master's program enrollment has skyrocketed. It's like trying to fix a leak in your boat by drilling another hole to let the water out. If your bachelor's didn't get you a job, surely a master's will, right? Except research shows that 40% of US master's programs deliver no real financial benefit. We're in an arms race of credentials that's devaluing the very qualifications people are chasing. And here's the really interesting, or maybe depressing part. In 2025, more than 40% of professionals globally report having more than one income stream. People are realizing that the traditional single employer, single paycheck model is increasingly risky. Some are building what's called portfolio careers, combining freelance work, part-time roles, side projects, all to create some semblance of financial security. It's not necessarily what people wanted, but it's becoming a practical response to a job market that can't provide the stability it once did. The question is, what does all this mean for the future? Some recruiters are warning that companies who fail to hire and train juniors today are putting their own existence at risk within 15 years. You can't have senior leadership without a pipeline of people who've learned the business. But right now, companies are prioritizing short-term cost savings over long-term sustainability. There's this optimistic view that AI will eventually hollow out middle management and create an hourglass structure where AI native graduates can leapfrog straight into leadership roles. But that relies on an entry mechanism that's currently broken, so I'm not sure how realistic that is. What we're witnessing is a fundamental shift in how work, education, and employment connect. The paper ceiling, the idea that academic qualifications automatically translate to good jobs, is cracking. The provable skills you have are starting to matter more than the credential itself, but we're in this awkward transition period where the old system is breaking down faster than the new one is being built. For decades, the promise was simple and clear. Now, it's complicated, uncertain, and honestly a bit scary for anyone trying to figure out their future. The economy isn't completely broken yet, but it is changing in ways that make the traditional path to the middle class less reliable than it's been in generations. And the thing is, nobody planned for this. We're all kind of figuring it out in real time. Graduates, employers, policymakers, everyone. The death of the career ladder is coming or probably already arrived. If you enjoyed this video, then the next video on the screen right now is perfect for you. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this situation. See you in the next one.